Hey everyone, how you doing today? Thought I'd cover a couple things on the new Helios and talk about module docking and a couple patches I did to the ship since I released it Saturday or this last Saturday. To start with, I had a couple patches, and one was just some textures I missed on the back of the ship by Module Bay 4 on the back wall, so that was cleaned up. No big deal. The other was a little bit more annoying, but it is fixed now and it's updated on the workshop as well. As I guess my count was again wrong on the gravity situation. So essentially, what was happening on the very front of the ship here, it was losing gravity, um, and by about 5 blocks. And this was brought up in a Steam comment. So I have fixed that now, and basically I just went out of God mode here, and I'm walking around the ship to the front, and it is cool all the way to the front. It's also cool going all the way to the back of the ship through the center section. What I ended up doing to fix that is I made a bit of an alteration here. It's not really noticeable, but this door here used to have a gravity generator under it. It now has a couple O2 tanks, and essentially what I did is I rearranged where the gravity generator was and a couple of O2 tanks. So the gravity generator was moved forward where you can't really see it anymore. It's kind of up and above this area here, and the oxygen tanks that were there were moved over here, keeping the part count the same, and the cost count should be the same too. So nothing really changed visually or anything like that, except there's no gravity generator behind this door anymore. It's just a couple oxygen tanks. So that's kind of the issue there, but it's fixed, and hopefully that doesn't cause any problems or anything like that. Sorry about that. I could have swore I had it right. I had tested it in the past, but I did make quite a few modifications to the ship. Since then, I did kind of copy things around and extend out the front piece a little bit, and I guess I didn't compensate for the gravity there. So it is fixed up, and it was no big deal at all. Next thing I want to talk about is module docking. There's two different types of modules on the new Helios. You got the dropship modules, and you got the standard Helios modules. And what I have noticed docking them is often they seem to hit an invisible wall or something that nudges you around when you're trying to dock. So essentially here, let me back this up. I'm going to turn on the HUD enough so I got the crosshair here. So I'm going to just try to line this up the best I can. I'm purposely getting rid of the alignment here. You need to be kind of accurate, but it should have a little wiggle room in here too. So it's hard to see what I'm doing, but I'm trying to line the crosshair center to the LCDs guidelines over here. And I'm coming in, and you notice what happened, like when I came in, it's like it suddenly kind of nudged me down and off-centered to that again. I'll hit O again to balance the ship off here. And let me adjust my alignment a little bit. You don't have to be perfectly accurate with this, but when I'm coming in, see, again, it nudged me down when I'm doing it. And I thought, well, what's causing that? Why is it nudging me down? And to be honest, I don't know. I'll show you some other examples here too, and I'll get outside of the ship here and show you the alignment. So I'm flying in. You see how it just nudged me down again. You can push through that and keep on docking and get a good dock. But even here, I think we're under the Helios. I'll fly out, take a look, and we do have some clearance above the module and the ship here, about that much, and it's normally cool. And if you look at these turrets, they look like they stick up a little further, but the collision is actually still 1 block. And I'll show you an example of the same thing happening with a module that does not have turrets on the top of it, because I first thought it might be the turret collision changed or something like that, because they physically look like they're sticking up further, but the collision is still 1 block tall on those turrets. And this weird problem that I'm having here is the same things that are taking place on the original Helios. So again, let me try to pull in, and you see the faster you go, the more it'll nudge you around too. Like it just knocked me off to the side again, and then I got to reposition again. We'll pull forward. See, it nudged me down some more. being a real pain in the butt, I tell you. I don't remember having so many problems before, but I can go to the original Helios and the same thing is happening. These bays are the same size and everything like that. But usually, God, man, that's really being a. Unless I'm off on some other thing here. I thought I was. Maybe I'm tilted a little bit. Sometimes sometimes it just works better than other times. See, it nudged me down again. Usually, what I'll do. Oh man, look at that. Being a real pain in the butt here. Okay, that looks pretty centered as far as I can tell. Let's fly forward. So it nudged me down a little bit. I'll pull up again. Well, basically, you can get a good dock yet, but you just kind of got to get through a bunch of fuggliness when you're trying to park this thing. Like I flew it in, and if we go to the front, you can see that this is all lined up really, really good. Nice and tight there again. But it knocked me around quite a bit when I was trying to dock the module. And I thought, well, maybe I got something wrong on this one. So I went to some other modules. Let's test another one here. Let me back this Plutus M2 out of here. And, oh, geez. See, even when I tried to back straight out when it was already aligned, it knocked me around trying to do that as well. So I think we're pretty aligned there. Let me try this again. See, and it does this. It almost every single time it just knocks you around and whatnot. Sometimes a lot less than other times, but I guess it's a little picky here. Let me try to just realign again. Just trying to center the crosshair to the LCDs. See, and this time it knocked me that way. Why? I don't know why this is happening, because again, I get out of the ship, I look at it, there's nothing touching, it's got the clearance it needs, but it's been a real pain in the butt. But you can still get these things in here and docked, and they'll line up nice, like right there. Essentially, when I'm docking to, I pull forward until I can't pull forward anymore. I hit the space bar to push the ship up, and then I let off the space bar, and then that usually triggers the landing gear, which docks you, and you're getting a nice. I mean, it's a nice seam line on the dock here, so the doors and everything are lining up really good. But almost every time trying to dock something, it jigs around a lot. It's like there's little invisible walls or something going on that aren't there. And then I was thinking, well, maybe that's just something with the new Helios, and what's different with the old Helios? Well, why didn't I recall ever having that problem with the old Helios? So here's the same module on the old Helios, or the MSC, not the MSC2. So I'm lining up my crosshairs here, pretty center, and bam! I hit like an invisible wall. Again, why that is... Oh, it looks like I did actually hit a wall here. What the heck? Yeah, I can see why that took place. Well, maybe it nudged me up there. Hold on, let me... Yeah, I am really nudged around right now. Okay, so let's try this again. I just remember this being a whole lot less problematic before. Maybe it's just filled memory. Maybe it was always kind of wonky like this, and I just thought it was better. But like this time, yeah, look at this time, and this time it's okay. Let's see how that did on the outside here. Open. Yeah, okay, so we're nice and lined up good on the old Helios here. We're pretty good, not perfect. Doesn't need to be perfect, but basically what I'm trying to say, that little knocking around is happening on both Helios creations, as well as the Solaris station, which also uses Helios modules. So I was testing that on there too. So then I thought, well, maybe it's because of the turrets, you know. So I grabbed a module, a different one. This is the production, or Helios PM1, or production module 1. And this one has no turrets on the top of it, just some solar panels, very, very flat across the top. To take that, and we're going to try to dock this to the original Helios. And let's see, let me try to get lined up here on the crosshairs, hit the O key to balance off, and we're flying in, and bam! Invisible wall again, and it throws you off. So it didn't, I don't recall it doing this before on either creation. So, or well, on the first Helios with any of these modules, but now it seems to be happening every time I pretty much try to dock a module. And once it nudges you, like it just nudged me down again. Of course, the faster you're moving when you're coming in, the more of a nudge you're going to get. But then if you just kind of pull back up again and keep going, it'll keep going. And then once you get to the front wall, hold down the space bar to lift, and then let until you see it, until it doesn't lift anymore, then let off. It should dock, and it should be accurate. And again, looking at the transition between the module and the ship, you can pretty much, in this case, not tell there's a different ship here. But so all the modules are docking fine, but getting them in their positions has been problematic. It likes to throw you around a lot, like an invisible collision that's coming up out of nowhere on both creations and the Solaris station. So I think something changed in the game itself, or my memory just sucks. It always did that, and I just thought it was smoother before than it is now. But I was doing the same testing here with the Solaris, and let me. Yeah, it did. I'm surprised it didn't knock me around when I tried to leave the station, even though I was pulling straight back, and it should have been already aligned. But I'm going to try to line up to these arrows again and be accurate, and let's see if we can get a dock on here without the problem. Yeah, see, again, it got nudged down a little bit. I wasn't moving as fast, so the nudge wasn't as severe, but and it's, yeah, it kind of is sort of being a pain in the butt right there too. So effectively speaking, it seems like every module that I've tried on every module creation seems to be having the same thing going on. It just, although it should be clear and the guidelines should be accurate and everything like that, for some reason there's like some weird collision issues and causing it to be disrupted. But they still dock fine in the end. You just gotta kind of push through it, raise back up again. But I think you'd be kind of hard pressed to just line up, pull in straight without it nudging you around when you're trying to do it with any of these modules, and again, any of these module creations. So I wanted to show you that. It's kind of disappointing. I didn't want that to happen. I don't know what I can really do to fix it. It just does it with anything, and I even on the new Helios versus the old one, these guide markers that guide you into module positions, I have these lowered down a little bit more than what they were on the first Helios on how high they are from the top, and it didn't matter. It still does the same thing. Even if you come in a little bit lower, it still does the same thing. It doesn't seem to matter, but most of the time it's going to knock you around when you're trying to dock a module. You just kind of push through it, get to the end wall, pull up, and it still works fine. Just it's not as smooth and as nice as I would like it to be. And again, I don't have any fix for that. I get, the same thing is happening with the first Helios and all the other module type creations that I tested, at least on my own modules too, so I know they're designed and used to work just fine getting into these things, but now it seems to be a little more problematic, but works fine and everything will line up fine. But just be warned, it's going to probably try to knock you around, even if you're straight up accurate with the laser, or I'm sorry, not the laser, the LCD guides. It's going to just knock you around, and sometimes you just don't know why it's doing it. it's I don't know. I really don't know. I think something changed. This is just my theory. I think something changed along the way with the game's collision over time. Maybe they're trying to fix one bug and created a different one, and then kind of left it. I've noticed a lot of fuggly problems with other ships, sometimes parked on the ground, flipping over, or doing things, or being stuck in another ship, or there's just something weird with the collision going on in the game in general, and it does affect these module bays a little bit, enough to be annoying, I'll say, but they still work. So, yeah, that's kind of what this video is about. If you're also new to modules and whatnot and never went through any other module creations, there's others. There's not just the Helios. There's other types of module creations out there by other authors, and a lot of other authors made Helios modules and things like that too. So it's kind of common. It's just expect a little fugginess with it. And again, they work, they line up, they actually dock the way they're supposed to, but flying through the docking bays, they tend to like to hit like invisible little walls or something that'll nudge them off their direction all the time now, and I don't know why that's happening. I really don't, and I don't have any way to fix it that I know of. I mean, my best recommendation. Let's do this. Let's do this module one more time. Let me get some. I think I ran out of fuel. Oops. Oh my goodness, wrong buttons. I'm trying to look at the screen here. Sorry about that. All right, so let's just get some actual fuel here. What am I doing? I'm hitting the wrong buttons. All right. Fuel, give me fuel. There we got some fuel. All right, so let's fill you up. And I'm going to back this out one more time and try it one more time just before I end the video here. Yeah, see, I backed out good right there. And okay, so I'm not touching anything. I'm not going to turn. I'm only going to hit forward again because we already should be lined up exactly where it was. And look at that, I get nudged down this time. But, you know, it can get right in there just fine. Let me back out again. Everything's cool. Didn't touch side carro, didn't move the mouse. Moving forward again, get knocked out of the way. So that's basically the problem. And I don't know what's going on with it. Why that's taking place like that. It just keeps doing it. But again, at the end of the day, just keep on pushing forward and get to the end wall, push up, and they still dock fine. And it's just, again, it's gonna knock you around a lot when you're trying, and I don't think I've had a single dock on either one of these ships, and I've tried it probably 20, 30 times now since I've been testing this today, and same results every single time. I get knocked around, pulling into anything, any of the module bays on either ship. So just be warned on that, and just try to do what I did right there, and just kind of push through it anyway. Get to the end wall, pull up, and you should be okay. Again, I don't have a solution for this. I don't have a way to fix it. I think just something's weird with the collision in the game now, or something's changed with the collision, and it kind of knocks things around when they're not touching it, when there's a little distance away. And these got to be kind of tight. I mean, to have them line up right to everything that they need to line up right to, so you get a pretty good accuracy once you are docked. And so I can't really like make it less tight and make it a little bit better, I guess, to dock, because then you're probably going to be off more. Also, the ceiling on all these bays, and even the Solaris station, these other pieces that were put out here are for a very distinct reason, and that is you got to hold the module down flat on the top. So that's why, like, even these angled pieces out over here are coming out to hold these modules there. So when you do park and you pull up, it kind of recenters your creation, so you're got a good accuracy on your dock alignment here. And if you didn't have that ceiling surface up there to do that, then you'd be off a lot. I mean, you'd park a module and it'd be crooked most of the time, unless you had a perfect dock. But this way helps a lot. So the ceiling and this whole area up here is needed to make these things work right. But at the same time, there seems to be a collision problem with them, with the ceilings. And even though you're not touching it, it acts like you do randomly almost every time you try to fly something into a module bay. So that's pretty much all I wanted to cover with the video. If you do have some questions about this ship, with anything, please let me know though in comments. If you, I know it's a little vague on part upgrades and things like that. It was really hard to try to explain where everything goes in the ship. So I mean, if you have any questions like that, like hey, you say you can put in some more reverse thrusters, where do they go? Where do I put the small shield parts? Stuff like that. Please let me know. I will try to cover any of your questions on that. Of course, I want the ship to work, and I want it to be a nice ship. I want to use this in the next playthrough. Maybe some new modules. And pretty soon, too, I will show some new modules made by, well, at least one new module made by another author. But I probably ought to review modules and take a good look at what's out there again. It's been a while. And there's probably modules I don't know about that I don't have in the collection either. So I'll try to do a video, maybe even tomorrow, on modules and what's out there, what's up to date, things like that. And I'm also probably going to be building a new module myself. I was thinking about doing potentially a new production module. I know another author expressed interest in building a dense mining module, which I don't think is in existence yet. So that would be a function that I haven't seen any current modules doing. Now, my module, I was thinking more about trying to revisit production or maybe do a storage module. I know a lot of other authors made storage modules already, and there's farming modules, and there's modules for like all kinds of things. There's even party modules. I mean, there's quite a lot of modules out there, but just expect that you're going to be knocked around trying to dock these things on any one of these module creations, as far as I know. So other than that, you all have yourself a great day, and I will talk to you later.